attorney Laura Anthony, founding partner of Legal and Compliance, a full-service corporate securities and business transactions law firm. Today is a special LawCast segment featuring Seth Farbman, chairman of VStock Transfer, one of the nation's leading stock transfer agencies. Over the last 15 years, Mr. Farbman has serviced over 3,000 publicly traded companies. In addition to traditional transfer agent services, VStock provides services related to IPOs, proxy statements, annual reports, services for shareholder meetings, and DTC eligibility. Mr. Farbman is a licensed attorney in New York and is currently chairman of several other corporate service ventures.
Laura, first of all, I want to thank you for having me on LawCast. I'm a huge fan, and I think it's a great resource for people to learn about securities law. So I appreciate the opportunity. Laura, you asked me to speak about a topic near and dear to my heart, about a transfer agent and why the role is so critical to have a quality transfer agent and clear communication between a public company, a company that's contemplating going public, the shareholders, and the role of the transfer agent. So this short message is really going to be directed towards newcomers. It's applicable both towards people that are entertaining going on to the OTC or NASDAQ, but it's really more for those who haven't had exposure to working with a transfer agent previously. You know, I've had people come up to us and they say, I don't understand. I have a lawyer, I have an auditor, I have a banker. Why do I really need a transfer agent? I mean, after all, I have everything in a pretty messy Excel, but it's there. So why can't I just continue down that path? So the answer is, even if you wanted to, you couldn't, because the role of a transfer agent really serves two functions. A transfer agent with one hat has to serve the issuer, the company. And by that I mean the transfer agent will handle all instructions and is really an extension of the issuer from an administrative standpoint. So things like when the company wants to issue shares, when it issues preferred shares, options, or warrants perhaps to the board members, if there's an annual meeting and there's shareholder communications, voting, tabulation, things like that are very often handled by the transfer agent. So on the one side, you're dealing with the company's needs, but equally as important, and sometimes, well, let's just say equally as important, you're also servicing the needs of their shareholders. And those tasks vary as well. On a day-to-day basis, the processors and the customer service teams at a transfer agent will answer questions by shareholders that deal with I want to break up my shares, how to deposit my shares, I want to gift my shares, my personal favorite, I lost my stock certificate, what do I do? And what I've found is that although some days I feel that the stock transfer agent is at the low end of the totem pole in terms of services that a company needs while it's public, at the end of the day, it really is a very critical component because they serve at the hub of the interaction between the company, the shareholders, and any type of corporate action. So whether it's with the OTC or FINRA or DTC or the clearing firms, very often that transaction is dependent on the communication that goes through the transfer agent. Now, when does the role of the transfer agent begin? So we often tell people that the earlier the better, because what we do is, as any transfer agent does, is they take the shareholder data that you have, upload it to the system, hopefully provide you with online access so that that data is always at your fingertips. It's funny, I had a story a couple years ago. A guy sent me his shareholder data, and I was looking at the list, and it had some pretty impressive people on it. It had like Bill Gates and Steve Jobs, and it had celebrities. And I said to him, I'm like, where did you get such an impressive list of shareholders? So he said, oh, you wanted existing shareholders? I gave you a list of people that I wanted to have as shareholders. So as a transfer agent, we can only do so much. But that is where we take on the role. We take your existing shareholders, we upload it, and then going forward, any purchasers that you may have in a private placement or whatnot, those we will be instructed by you to issue and to process. At the end of the day, though, we really do take an administrative burden off of the company. We'll provide you as any transfer agent would, with a much more uniform process of maintaining your ledger, a lot more accessible than an Excel sheet. And we take instruction from you whether or not a company prefers to have their issuance done in certificate form or in book entry form. And the most important thing for you to recognize is that our job is to be compliant for our benefit, but also for yours, because every transfer agent in the industry, to be in good standing, is audited by the SEC. And so our books and records have to be in great shape because it's a reflection of you and it's a reflection of that transfer agent. And so those are the basic tasks or services of any transfer agent. Above and beyond that, there are some myths and misconceptions that I think people have, which hopefully I'll have an opportunity to address in some future LawCasts.
Thank you, Seth, for joining us today. I'm securities attorney Laura Anthony, founding partner of Legal and Compliance and producer of LawCast. Should you have any questions about today's topic, please visit securitieslawblog.com and lawcast.com or contact me directly. Inquiries of a technical nature are always encouraged.